You've probably heard the jokes, about your boss being a robot. But at the company Dictador, they actually went ahead and made a humanoid named Mika their CEO.
Yeah.
And she's not alone.
Not at all. You've got Tang Yu in China, an AI CEO for NetDragon, and then there's Aiden Insight, which is literally a non-voting board observer in Abu Dhabi.
So this isn't future talk anymore. This is right now.
It is. Which brings us to the real problem, the flashing red light on the dashboard.
We have AI running companies, but the laws we use to govern them were written for people, for, flesh and blood.
Exactly. That's the tension. And we're going to be digging into some research today by A.S. Romanova on something called algorithmic legislation.
Okay, so what is that?
It's this idea of moving from laws based on social ideas to, well, laws based on math, technical laws.
Before we get into the math, let's talk about these AI bosses. We're not
Yeah.
just talking about fancy software tools, right? These are autonomous agents.
Right. Since about 2014, the whole paradigm shifted. It went from AI helping directors to AI actually controlling the decisions. Romanova puts them in like 3 buckets.
Okay.
First, you have the humanoids, Mika, Sophia. They're the public face.
Which, to be honest, feels a bit like a PR stunt sometimes.
It can be. But the second category, that's where the real power is. Command centers. Take ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company.
Mm-hmm.
They use something called the Panorama Digital Command Center. It's this huge data integration system, and it's generated over $1 billion in value.
$1 billion. That's a huge number.
Yeah.
But just because it's profitable doesn't mean its decisions are good or fair. Isn't that the worry?
That is the exact worry, and because they make so much money, they get more and more autonomy, which leads to the third category, virtual systems, things like Vital and Spock.
And they do what?
They make investment decisions without a human sanity check.
And that's where the legal ice gets really thin. I mean, if the AI is deciding who to hire or who to fire, you're just automating bias. We all remember the Amazon recruiting story.
We do. The algorithm that penalized resumes with the word women's on them.
Right.
But Romanova argues that wasn't just bad coding, it was a failure of legal translation. The engineers were trying to optimize for success, but they were doing it inside a black box. No legal oversight.
So how do you fix that? You can't just pass a law saying AI must be fair.
You can't. Because fair is a social construct, and AI doesn't get fair. Think of it like this. Human law is a painting. It's open to interpretation.
Okay.
Algorithmic law needs to be a blueprint, exact measurements, no room for interpretation.
A blueprint needs math.
Precisely. And this connects back to a really fascinating historical figure in the research, Gottfried Leibniz, back in the 17th century.
Calculus guy.
The very same. He had this incredible idea he called calculimus. Let us calculate.
Let us calculate.
Yeah, he thought legal arguments were basically just calculation errors. He imagined a world where 2 people arguing could just say, let us calculate, and, mathematically find the one true answer.
I feel like lawyers would absolutely hate that idea.
Oh, for sure. It kind of removes the argument, but for an AI, you need it. Romanova says we have to bring that idea back. We have to translate these vague human laws into precise mathematical intervals.
Okay, so give me a real-world example. How would that work?
So the research uses the Saudi Arabia Corporate Governance Code. Right now, it tells human directors to treat employees with fairness and equality. That's the painting.
And the blueprint.
For an AI, you would replace fairness with a specific variance limit. You'd hard code the acceptable margins.
So instead of just saying pay people equally.
Exactly. You'd define a specific legal coefficient for, say, the gender pay gap. Maybe it's 0.05. If the AI's output goes beyond that number, boom, it's an automatic legal violation.
So it's not about intent anymore. It's just about the numbers.
It turns justice into a compliance check. If the algorithm stays within the coordinates, it's legal. If it drifts out, it's not. It bridges that gap between the social world and the technical world.
That makes a lot of sense, but it also feels incredibly cold. We're basically saying justice is just a math problem we haven't figured out yet.
It is cold. But here's the thing. If we don't define these numbers legally, the engineers will just define them arbitrarily in the code anyway.
And software developers become our unofficial legislators.
Yes.
That's a terrifying thought.
It is. Which leaves us with the biggest question of all.
What's that?
If we do this, if we translate justice into a math equation for these AI CEOs, who gets to decide the numbers? If an AI is mathematically fair inside its legal interval, but its decision just feels morally wrong to every human in the room, which one wins?
The math or the gut check?
Yeah.
Something to think about. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.